Welcome back to the Hot Slice. I'm creative director Josh Keown, and with me today, editor-in-chief Jeremy White. How's it going, Jeremy?
Hey, what's up? Good, doing well. How you doing?
Doing well. It's Friday. We're a little late on this podcast. Forgive us. That's what happens in the publishing and restaurant industry. A lot of things are going on right now.
There is a lot going on, but we're all weathering the storm together. We're finding ways to get through some pretty difficult times, and we're coming through to the other side. That's what we do.
And it's going to be worth the wait because we have a wonderful, wonderful guest today, Mr. Mikey Bausch.
You know, Mike is a good friend of mine, a good friend of yours, a good friend of Pizza Today and Pizza Expo. He is one of the most prolific contributors in our arsenal. He is one of the most skilled pizzeria owners in the country. He has built a great business by virtue of hard work, intellect, creativity. And speaking of creativity, he has come out with a new book, Unsliced: How to Stay Whole in the Pizzeria Industry.
Yeah, he sent us a preview of that, and I read it on a road trip a couple weeks ago, and it was, first of all, it's an easy, great read. And if you're a business owner, you're going to really want this, especially if you're in the restaurant business, but even any kind of business owner, with your managing employees, whatnot, and you want a culture for your business, it's a super important read.
And it's done in typical Mike fashion. Mike doesn't do anything willy-nilly. Mike is when he enters into a project, he's all in. He puts a lot of passion and a lot of enthusiasm into it, and he gives it the old college try, man. He gives it the best effort he can to knock it out of the park, and that's one of the things we love and appreciate about him, and that shows in this book.
He's authentic. His restaurants are authentic to him, and like I said, it shows. The first time I went to visit Mike in Tulsa, we casually knew each other from Pizza Expo and whatnot, but we sat down and like all these things started lining up. Like, we both have a son named Henry around the same age. We both are professional wrestling fans. We love pop culture. I mean, it was like everything was kind of matching up, and I was like, wow, it's like we're right on the level together. So, been a big fan since, and it's great to have him on the podcast again.
It is. There is nobody better just to sit down, have an adult beverage with, and have a conversation. And that conversation can meander and weave in 1,000 different directions. We might start talking about pizza, and then talk about a certain town in Italy, and then talk about music or a book or a movie. It's always fun to talk with Mike because his brain operates like ours. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. It's probably not a good thing, but we're very much on the same level, and it's really, when you meet someone like that, it's fun to have a conversation with them.
Absolutely. So let's get this thing rolling, and let's talk to Mike.
Sounds good. Let's do it.
Hey everyone, it's Katie, design lead here at Pizza Today, here to interrupt your podcast with a quick commercial break. Performance Food Service is proud to deliver high-quality products, innovative technology, and custom operational solutions to restaurants of all sizes across the country. The flagship division of Performance Food Group, with deep roots in the restaurant industry, Performance Food Service has been the exclusive distributor of the Roma family of brands for more than 65 years. This signature relationship has allowed Performance Food Service to become a leader in the pizza and Italian segment of food service nationwide. And now, back to the slice.
What are you drinking this morning, Mike?
Nitro cold brew, straight up.
I've got a double caffeine. I got a double caffeine Starbucks.
I can't do the cold brew. I've got my my Christmassy Starbucks mug, and it's some kind of high-powered Cuban espresso that someone gave my wife as a Christmas gift. She's a teacher, and she doesn't drink coffee, and she brought it home to me. And I feel like I could knock out 100 unbroken pull-ups right now. This stuff's like rocket fuel. I can't do the cold coffee. I just can't do it.
This year, 2020 was the year that I started drinking cold coffee. Never had it before, and I was just like, ugh. And I've had more cold coffee than
I can't
this year.
You guys know I coach baseball, right? That's one of my passions, and it'll be 95 degrees in July. I'll be on the baseball field drinking hot coffee, and people are like, how are you drinking that? But it doesn't affect me. I just can't get into the cold. What's so good about cold coffee, Mikey?
Well, if I can't pound it, like first off, I'm type 1 diabetic, and I didn't know I was type 1 diabetic for around 2 years. So it makes you extremely thirsty. And during that time, I was able to drink a whole gallon unbroken just of water.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
wow.
now if I'm drinking something, I'm just, let's go. I'm going. And with a cold brew coffee, if I wanted to, I could slam it in one. And I've done that on the line or waking up in the morning, and probably not healthy because they don't even sell it larger than this medium size because there's too much caffeine in it. That, if that tells you something about how much caffeine I'm taking in a day, it's probably not healthy to do multiple of those. But hey, it's the life I've chosen.
It's I don't have many vices, but that's one I'm just I'm going all in on, and I'm going to keep it. So
Yeah, it's
Well,
natural.
Josh, we brought Mike on today to talk about his new book. Mike is a dynamite pizza maker, a great restaurateur, a fantastic writer, as we know from his contributions to Pizza Today magazine, one of the most exciting must-see speakers at Pizza Expo. And if all that is not enough, he's now a published author. He's got his own book, Unsliced. Actually, the complete title, if I'm not mistaken, Mike, is Unsliced: How to Stay Whole in the Pizzeria Industry. Is that right?
That is correct.
All right. Josh, his book's been out for roughly a month now, give or take. I don't know the exact release date, give or take about a month. Have you had the chance to read any of it yet?
I read it on a family trip we took, and my wife was driving, and I happened to read the whole thing on that. So it's an amazing book. We'll get into it, I'm sure. But if you're even just a business owner, not even have to be a restaurant owner, just a business owner, you need this book. It's amazing.
You could be a florist. It would help you out, honestly.
Right.
And I don't know how, Mikey, you can't get a better review than that. Jeremy White says you can be a florist and it will help you out. I mean,
It's been doing very well in the floral community. I've been seeing a lot of positive praise. 100 flowers, pedal pushers, all glowing. So it's been really nice to see.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm excited about because I've read it. I'm an avid reader. I can't wait to hear the audio book because I know from a previous conversation with you, you decided not to hire an actor, someone with a silky smooth golden bedroom voice to narrate. You did it yourself. You went to a radio studio and you did it yourself. So I'm excited to, even though I've read it once, I'm excited to hear you read it to me.
Yes, I enjoyed doing it. It was usually a audiobook you take a week to do, and you fly to a studio in LA or something. I want to do that, so I got with my radio guys because I'll do stuff on the local Radio Zoo crew here in Tulsa, and pounded it. And I said, they're like, we have some time here and there, and I had a packed week, so I did it in 2 6-hour increments.
Wow.
Pounded it out, and so it's about 5 hours. Most audiobooks are around 4 to 5 hours, and it's all killer, no filler, and I get to put the right emphasis on the right syllables. So it's, if you're listening to it, I also really don't like audiobooks that are monotone.
Yeah.
Even really great entertainers will say, and then I decided that my life was changing. And it's so monotone. So it's me just, it's probably too aggressive of an audiobook because it's just, and that's when you have to decide. And it's just boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom. But the people that have heard it up to this point dig it. People that have read the book up to this point, I've been getting a lot of positive feedback, which is humbling. I really threw myself into this for about 2 years and just wanted to make a book that wasn't about me, but gave a lot of value to the reader so that there was just something that could help someone I'm not going to meet otherwise that was in my position when I was 22 to, hey, here is the framework in an evergreen perspective of what you could do to set yourself up for success and to evaluate if something's going well, and if not, what to do about it from all the lessons I've heard and all the screw ups I've had. Because again, starting at such a young age, I just had a lot of screw ups, but each one was, okay, that's a punch in the face. What do we do with that? Learn from it, move on, and growth. And I don't think I could have done this book even 2 years ago. It's the management training that I created in 2011 for my managers is about 3 chapters of the book. So again, this is not the Mike Bausch story. This is not talking about, my journey through high school and all the stuff that, you know,
The
it's
part that
not a
everybody
love fest
skips
to
in the
me.
book.
Yeah. So then I realized my body was changing, and I realized, you know, that is not in the book.
That's in John Gudikant's
What?
forthcoming book, I'm pretty sure.
Right. So I'm a nerd about like writing processes. So like, you know, you said you started this 2 years ago. What gave you the inspiration, and then like how, you know, you're a busy man, you run a bunch of restaurants. How did you navigate that in there?
I reading is something with, along with lifting weights and then doing the restaurant, is something other than what naturally can occur in this industry, which is you get done with work and you go to a bar. So instead of that, just focused really on writing. uh a lot of the trips I was on, instead of going out, I just stayed in my room and would pound out, you know, 7 hours of writing. And it was a challenge. I challenged myself to do it. I knew I could do it, but I also didn't want to just crap out a book. I don't plan on doing this often, you know, maybe someday again, but right, it's such an arduous effort, and I wanted the information to be worthwhile. So it's not something I'm just going to willy-nilly do. So I wanted it to have a ton of value to the reader. And it's a long process, even because you write the book. People have asked me a lot, what's a writing process? You come up with an outline, and then you just go and you get it all on paper. And then it's a lot of editing, just a lot of editing, and tightening it up, and making, not just, hey, make a comma here, but can that sentence have more punch? Can that singular sentence give more value? And to do that with 300 pages, 60,000 words, is a time consuming effort.
Yeah, the art is, we call it, as editors, we call that pruning, and that's where the art lies. You kind of vomit out all these stream of conscious trains of thought onto a page that are sometimes coherent, other times valuable, but not necessarily in a good flow. And then you've got to take that and mold that clay into something. And again, we call it pruning. You have to trim here, trim there, highlight here, add there, and then it slowly shapes into a really well-rounded narrative that the reader can get through.
All killer, no filler, though, right?
Just like
That's
Mikey
what
said, Josh, this
yes.
book's a quick read. It's about, well, I think it's 221 pages thereabouts. And it's a quick read because it's written in a conversational tone. You and I talked the other day in preparation for this podcast a little bit, Josh, and what you said to me was, felt like I was talking to Mike. As I read the book, it was like Mike was just talking to me.
Yeah.
That tone is very much there. And I think that makes it easier for readers to get through and to digest quickly as well.
Hey everyone, it's Katie, design lead here at Pizza Today, here to interrupt your podcast with a quick commercial break. If you're looking for a POS provider that truly understands pizzerias, look no further than PDQ. Designed from the ground up for the exact needs of pizzerias, PDQ POS has been doing pizza ordering, delivery, and takeout for over 32 years. With all the functionality you need in today's environment, including online ordering, rewards, seamless integration, contactless functionality, and so much more, PDQ is your single source for, well, everything. Learn more today at pdqpos.com or call 877-968-6430. That's 877-968-6430. And now, back to the slice.
In writing a book, I wanted my North Star. When you write anything, it's okay, who are you writing to? Yeah. And I had a person in my head, guy or girl, named Chris, who owns a pizzeria somewhere in America, and they're open, but they don't really know what the next thing they should do is. And I also wrote it to someone who's been in the business for 20 years, but they're having trouble. They tried to do a second store and it failed. And then I thought about, just writing it to me at 22 and the 6 months leading up to me opening the restaurant. Like, hey, are you going to want to do this? Is this really your thing? And the first two chapters are to what a lot of pizza guys and girls get annoyed by, which is the casual, I'm gonna open a pizza restaurant because I'm a successful doctor, so I'll be great at this. Because this, if you dummies figured it out, of course I'm a doctor or I'm a lawyer, this should be easy. And if you come in, don't get me wrong, some people have done that and been successful, but they came in humble. they came in, let me absorb as much as possible. Not like, well, I'll open it and then I'll hire someone to do it, but I'll pay them a lot. That's a really dumb thing I see lately is they'll take someone with a $45,000 a year acumen, pay them $100,000 and assume they're going to become $100,000, GM level employee that could run circles around a massive restaurant company.
You hit the nail on the head. It's over the last 20 years doing what I do for a living. I've seen a lot of people make a lot of mistakes. And one of the a question I often get is around centers on mistakes newbies make. And one of the largest ones I see is just what you said. Someone jumps into the pizzeria industry from another industry and probably don't have enough working capital to really sustain themselves long-term initially. So they're underfunded, money is tight from day one, and they don't really know what they're doing on top of that. And they end up in a precarious situation. And that's a very common thing that I've seen. And it sounds like obviously you've seen others either in your neck of the woods or just nationally that you talk to people at the show. Mm-hmm. You must have seen that happen as well.
I've seen a lot of that. I've seen a lot of people that will assume that they need to be like the other place they've seen to be successful. Like, okay, there's a street that has pizza on it. They're doing well. I'll open on their street and I'll do what they do, or I'll just put up photos of Venice on the wall, even though they've never been to Italy, and not make it their thing. They try to pretend to be what they assume the customer wants and do cliche after cliche, and not tongue-in-cheek cliche, just obvious cliche.
Laziness.
And they buy the non-branded box and they say, what's the flour I should buy? What's the cheese I should buy? Not what they dig. There's no passion behind it. It's just widget X, widget Y, and then put it down. And why is it not working? And there's nothing unique. There's no pull to it. And they just don't get, why is this not automatically a success?
Did you ever find yourself in that situation? You started in the industry young. You were young when you started in the industry, and you had a lot of world experience in other things, but not operating a pizzeria. Did you ever find yourself behind the eight ball early on? Like, what the heck have I just done? What have I gotten myself into?
In every single way that you could make a mistake in that scenario, I did. The only thing that we had right was to have a dough that we made from scratch, and that's not saying much. I mean, that's because I say great pizza is the price of entry into this business.
Agreed.
And I did not have great pizza. I had serviceable bread. And then it was, okay, I didn't drive halfway across America from California to Tulsa, Oklahoma to suck at this. So let's learn how to not suck. And that just, I say a lot when we're hiring, I don't care about their experience. I care about their hunger and their willingness to learn. That will go so much further, because talent and experience are highly, highly overrated, of which I had neither. I had just the win that I had was that I had just come out of Officer Candidate School of the Marine Corps, and I'm a type 1 juvenile diabetic. I'm not allowed to go back in there, and I just knew what my body could hold and hang with, and how much sleep deprivation I could take on, and how bad of a beating I could absorb and still say, okay. So that was my only little superpower, and that's a good one. If you're going to have one on, sweat equity and adherence to pain is way better than if you know proper fermentation practices, because you can learn that.
Yeah, Josh, this is an industry that will chew you up and spit you out. And we see so many restaurants go out of business each and every day for a variety of reasons, whether it's bad luck, bad decision-making. Something leads a lot of restaurants to fail daily. You've got to have that mentality that I'm willing to bang my head against this brick wall 1,000 times until it busts open, or else you're not going to survive.
It's a painful industry. It's a fun industry too, which is something that I really want to impress upon people in the book is you're given this opportunity. You own a business in America. So act like it. Act like you have something that's someone who's a beaten slog doing a 9-to-5 job, and I call it Cubicle Gary. You're not Cubicle Gary, so don't act like Cubicle Gary. Get out, do something cool, name the pizza something fun, be the boss that you always wanted to have, and have a passion, because Cubicle Gary longs to have what you have. So don't act like you're Cubicle Gary and say, okay, what do I need to do to get through the day? Be stoked. And if you're stoked about it, people will get stoked for the job with you, and you can have a great life. But it's an invitation to be yourself, and an invitation to just do something unique. If you're super into NASCAR up your restaurant, because I care about that. I haven't seen that pizzeria.
Right.
Me personally, I haven't seen that. So show me off something that I haven't seen. Don't do the cliched pizza man with the white hat and the puffy white hat, which I've never seen a pizza maker that had a puffy white hat on. Side note, it's never occurred. Of all the pizza guys I know, the most Goomba Jersey pizza guy, I don't know one who has just a singular spinny mustache and no other facial hair. Still have yet to meet that guy, but it's the cliche that everyone's still abiding by.
That's
So
true.
yes, and so we know what you do with your restaurant as far as making it you. Kind of tell our audience, like, what are the things that you do at Andolini's that is all you, and it shines through.
I like stupid humor. I like stuff there's everything has a brand and an aspect to it. The food is taken very seriously. The brand is 1920s New York. The brand and the ambiance is a 1920s New York bar, because I find that to be the most comfortable, enjoyable ambiance imaginable.
Cozy.
Then the pizza, yeah, it's not trendy. It's just cool. It's comfortable. Then the food, and then when I'm doing videos or whatnot, I just try and be an elevated version of myself. Our bathroom, for example, only plays 3 Billy Ocean songs on a loop. Why? Because I own a restaurant in America, and because I can. And I find
Billy
that to be
Ocean.
hilarious. So one day I was in the bathroom, I heard Caribbean Queen come on. All right. And then suddenly came on. I was like, this is very enjoyable to go to the bathroom to. And then light bulb, I should make this happen in this bathroom, in every bathroom, with a separate amp that it just plays Billy Ocean on a loop. And I said to my guys, I think I want to do this. And they're like, we should totally do that.
That's
And again,
amazing.
that's having people around you who just dig what you dig. Like, let's do it. Let's just have fun. Because if you're having fun, then everything falls into place. It's my job to have fun. It's my staff's job to have fun. If they're not having fun in the hospitality industry, you're screwing up, because that's why people come to this place to spend their disposable income. I did not have fun today. I want to go somewhere where it is fun. If
Right.
you're not having fun at the disposable income place, why would I go back? And
Right.
that's what I look to do.
Yeah, if you go into a place and there's a bad vibe in there, like whether the employees are angry or just hating life, you pick up on that really quick as a customer. So yeah, if you go in somewhere and it's playing Billy Ocean, I'm all in on that.
I love it.
It's
It's
just-
that kind of a random stupidness that people remember. And because case in point, and this is why I love this, as you know, because of what Josh and I do for a living, we visit. I mean, I've personally been in thousands of pizzerias at this point. I've seen so many pizzerias, and sometimes a pizzeria sticks out in my mind because of this or because of that. I'll never forget a pizzeria in Utah that I went into. And the reason I remember it is, a lot of pizzerias give crayons and coloring books to kids to keep them occupied or something. This was a sheet. Can you color Hall and Oates? And it was a connect the dots. So first you had to connect the dots, and when you did, you were drawing the profiles of was it Daryl Hall and John Oates, the pop musicians, and then you had to color them in. And that was probably 18, 19 years ago, and I still remember a pizzeria in Utah giving children Hall and Oates to color. And I was like, what random stupidity. But the parents, people of our age, just get a kick out of that and laugh. And it's just as stupid. It doesn't mean anything, but it's funny and it's memorable and it gets people talking.
It's an added value USP, or unique selling point, which I say
Right.
You have to have many of them. And it's not like that. Okay, the secret sauce to having your pizzeria be successful is not to do just one kitschy thing different. It has to be that your ethos is doubling down on you, and that your staff isn't aware. The same way a new restaurant owner is like, okay, I have to do this and write and put up the cheesy Italian posters on the wall. New staff will think, okay, do I need to be super inhibited at the table because I want to be respectful, quote unquote respectful. And it's a pizzeria. Amp it up. Be stupid fun. You go there and say, hey, sorry, I'm not better looking, but who wants to have some alcohol? That's fun. Whether or not that's their attitude, just going into it and being stoked about the food, that they've eaten the food, which sometimes you have a restaurant that's, well, you can't ever try the food. That'll cut down our food cost. And these dumb, short-sighted decisions that plague the industry, that I got to a point where I just, 5 years in, I'm 25, I'm 26, and I'm thinking, why would someone do this? What's the reason? And when I saw something that did work, I just ran towards it. Do more of that. Another thing I did dumb was I was buying frozen product. And then I saw another restaurant buy the same frozen product I did because I was getting popular. And then I was like, we're both selling
the same
chicken McNuggets and saying that we're not McDonald's. Get rid of it. Just toss it out. Get rid of the freezer. If there's something that doesn't have a completely unique signature that it's ours, then we have no unique selling point in that item, and move on, get rid of it, and start fresh.
So did you write this book to your younger self in a therapeutic way? Like, boy, if I could go back and tell young Mr. I mean, what at the end of the day, what were you really hoping to accomplish when you wrote this book?
When I started writing, because I had notes, just a lot of it was me being annoyed. I would write a note about something that hit my brain as early as 2014. And I'd say if that was ever a chapter, that would be cool. Okay. And then by 2018, I was like, okay. And then it was these 4, I could have 4 chapters just for my management school that I teach my managers. And then I was thinking, okay, I started pulling it together when I made an outline and started formulating it. Each chapter was writing to a different North Star. The first 2 chapters are written to me and to new business owners and to new pizzeria owners saying, hey, what's up? The introduction, I had an introduction that was all about the crappiest day I had ever had in the restaurant. And I tossed it and rewrote it for COVID about a day-to-day journal of the first 7 days of COVID, and how, as gnarly and crazy and psychotic as it was, it just went according to plan because of all the systems in the book. It's in a gnarly week, and everything went exactly according to my plan.
And that forward is one of my favorite parts of the book. It really sets the tone for the rest of the book. And I was always wondering, I was like, when did you throw that in? And like, what was your forward before then, and so on and so forth?
The forward before then was about when I had a day where my manager was sick. The GM of the store was on vacation. We had just promoted a guy who didn't come back from break. We had 2 servers out sick, and then we had a full line out the door, and it was me with just 2 guys in the back and 4 servers in the front. And I got us through the whole shift. And right at the apex of the shift, I started feeling a light slapping on my back, which I've never felt in this restaurant. If you've been in a restaurant, the same 4 walls for years, you know every nuance. I never felt a light slapping on my back. And I look, and it's black. And I realized that I have a sprinkler that's popped, and it's not gorgeous spring water. It's black. And our whole night was about to completely shift again. And I was going to deal with a popped line. All of our pizza was covered in water, black water. Our oven glass immediately broke, and I was going to have to talk to every table and clean it up. And I was like, this is how you handle that. And I was like, to all my staff, everything has gone to complete crap. Just acknowledge that, and we're going to be fine. It's cheese on bread. Let's go. And how I handled that. But it was a good opening. It didn't compare to the day by day of COVID, because everyone can relate to that. So that's what the intro is now.
It's a tough business, man. No doubt about it. Josh, Mike sets the bar for us a lot. And a lot of times we'll watch a presentation he gives and we're like, oh, new bar's been set. And this book sets a pretty awesome bar as well.
Yeah. And, if anyone's ever been to any of your presentations at Expo or knows you, your disdain for Lou Diamond Phillips. And yesterday I went on to Cameo, and I was going to find Lou Diamond Phillips, and I was going to buy Cameo for you, but he's not on there. So
he's not.
So unfortunately, we don't get a cameo from Lou Diamond Phillips today.
I got a message yesterday this is very inside baseball to anyone who's read the book or seen my presentations. But my mortal enemy in everything that I talk about is Lou Diamond Phillips. To never be like Lou Diamond Phillips, to never do anything that would regard yourself in the wherewithal of being associated with Lou Diamond Phillips. And the book is dedicated to all the people in my life, all the people that have helped out, Jeremy and Josh, both of you included, and specifically not to Lou Diamond Phillips.
You know, I want another podcast just separately to dig down real deep to see where this goes with Lou Diamond Phillips and what the whole issue is. But
we need to bring a therapist in.
I don't think you've listened to my presentations if you don't know that already, Josh. So it's a separate problem.
You know, we have managed to work in Hall & Oates, Lou Diamond Phillips. If we can somehow, some way work Mary Poppins in this conversation.
Billy Ocean.
Yeah, and Billy Ocean too. I mean, if we could work in Mary Poppins and maybe.
Well, sometimes a spoonful of sugar is all that you need to make the medicine go down. And I've said that before. You know, chimmery.
It can't get it. Supercalifragilistic. It can't get any better than this, guys. We should probably end the podcast forever at this point because it will never get any better.
That's the mic drop on live action Disney characters.
All right. Mike, well, Josh, do you have any parting thoughts?
No, appreciate you coming on again. Always a great guest, and good luck with the book. It's an amazing book. If you're listening to this, go buy it right now.
The book is Unsliced, How to Stay Whole in the Pizzeria Industry, written by our man, Mikey B. It's fantastic. There's a sales pitch for you, Mikey. Everybody should go read it.
If you go to unslicedbook.com, there's also the Spotify playlist of the book. The book has a soundtrack.
Oh, yeah.
So that's a fun little side note thing. Again, just the book. It's like Kramer's coffee table book is a coffee table. The book has USPs in its USP providing book. So that one is that it has a soundtrack, and unslicedbook.com has that and any information that you would want about the book, even after you buy it.
I feel like we should play Man-Eater as we roll the credits and go out here, but I don't think that we've got the copyright
rights.
I don't think we have the rights to do that. But maybe we could sing it and do a live performance or something.
Oates would be cool about it, but Hall would not be.
He'd be like Lou Diamond Phillips, man.
I think we're just going to have to do a karaoke hot slice at some point. You know, we don't have Pizza Expo right now, so
a live hot slice at Expo would definitely likely have a karaoke aspect of it, especially if it was held at King Arthur's court at Excalibur. I think that'd be the prime location.
This conversation is completely deteriorated to the point that it's time to say goodbye.
Mike, have a great weekend. Have a great week.
Right on. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Mike. See you.
Thank you.